Ark Beyond Ascension, Part 5. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our journey. So we ended off our journey by catching this beautiful blue bird, a max level 150 Pelagornis, even though we did mess up the taming a little bit, just due to the fact that we didn't have a whole bunch of raw prime fish meat. But I wanted to put this guy to use, and I wanted to go through and gain some levels as I plan to explore with him, as of right now, he was the only flyer we had. So I actually made my way over to the top of the hill just above our base, and decided to grab the Explorer note. Now I had two thoughts in mind here. Either one, I was going to go across and look for the Alpha Raptor, which I had saw across the beach earlier in the playthrough, or I was going to head out back towards Herbivore Island and scout out and look for the Alpha Megalodon that was just level 5. Either one of these guys would provide a huge substantial EXP boost with the Explorer note, and that's exactly what we needed to go through and increase the weight and stam on our blueberry. But unfortunately, they all went on vacation because the Alpha Raptor was MIA and the shark just straight up disappeared. He pulled a Houdini. So I went back to the base and I decided we were just going to do some chores. So I went and took Finny out and broke down and smashed a bunch of bushes and got a whole bunch of berries, made 100 plus more narcotics. And then I also continued our mass production on charcoal, so I chopped down a whole bunch of trees and went full Lorax on this neighborhood until there was not a single tree standing. And after that, I decided we would still try and go through and locate the Alpha Raptor, even though we still had a little bit of time left on the experience buff. And lo and behold, I did actually manage to find an Alpha Raptor. So I went through and I started a battle with it, and it was going okay. And then I started to get pummeled to a pulp, which I kind of expected was going to happen, even with the headshot multiplier, as the Alpha Raptors are just insanely quick. But the worst part is he actually had a whole bunch of buddies. Otherwise, if he didn't have his buddies, this fight would not have been nearly as hard as it was. But all these little buddies ganged up on me, and I kind of just sat there and took it when I should have been flying. And oh boy, was this one of the craziest fights. It was leaving me terrified. And then on top of that, I was also running low on stam, meaning if I did mess up, there was no way I was going to be able to go through and escape. And then I took a Dillo poison shot straight to the face. But I just continued to go through and fight, hoping and praying that I'd win this battle. And sure enough, I did manage to live the battle. I had around 50 health left after this engagement, and oh man, I thought I was going to lose it all, and I was ready to just throw in the towel. I was going to be pissed, but I never should have doubted Blueberry. This is a very special bird, and Blueberry pulled through. But the moment that I had finished this fight, pretty much everywhere else in the game decided that they wanted to kill me because I had bugs and little dillos, everybody try and come up and just get that last hit in, but fortunately I managed to sneak away. Now what was great, really good about this fight was the fact that I actually got a higher level pick and a 180 crossbow. This was massive considering I'd already been having to repair the crossbow about half a dozen times just to protect the base or to kill a couple of random targets. Now having these higher durability tools and more damage of course was going to be huge in our progression. It'll be a huge tremendous help in taming, needing less trank arrows, not having to repair it as often, and just being able to build things more efficiently with this pick and harvest metal more efficiently as well. So this was awesome. I was super stoked about this fight. I was just really sad that we almost lost Blueberry because that would have been tragic. Now I got back to the base here and I thought, Blueberry needed a little bit of time off, and it was a struggle to get back to the base as I had no health, so my stam wouldn't recover. Even when I hopped off him, it took forever. It took us a long time to get back to base, but we did make it back safely. And then I figured since he deserved some time off, we would take him back to his old stomping ground. So I actually took him back to where we first tamed him and decided we would take him to go fishing because he had no fish meat on him, and that was going to be the best way to actually heal him up. So we went back and it was like a scene straight out of Finding Nemo. After Blueberry finished having a nice little snack back at his old stomping ground, and I had ate up and recovered too, I decided we would set back out and explore the area now that we had this newfound bird with all of these extra levels in it. And the very first thing I found was some more brunch. Got 2 eggs, both a parasaur and a pterodon egg, literally side by side. Now I actually had 2 thoughts with these eggs. Either I could start some kibble earlier on, or potentially I could use these to help tame a Gigantoraptor if I was to find one where that was actually possible, as these would probably not work for a max level, but I didn't exactly need a max level in order to take advantage of the perks that the Gigantoraptor offers. I was just going to wait it out and see whatever it is that we ran into first, whether we needed kibble first or there was a Gigantoraptor that I wanted to tame. Once we got farther inland, I decided to scope out to see what was going on because I saw some different things getting killed and attacked, and lo and behold, there was another Alpha Raptor. This was the level 80 that we had actually seen previously on the beach. The one we had killed earlier was a level 10. So, as you can imagine, I was terrified as a level 10 almost completely destroyed us and made us lose Blueberry and everything. So, I wanted to fight him, I really did, but I didn't know how. And at first I thought maybe I would just fly this time, it would be easy. And yeah, no, it wasn't working. He was kicking our booty. He was just munching on us, and I was not enjoying it. Now, I can't speak for Blueberry. I don't know whether he was enjoying it, because, I mean, God knows, Pete and Finny frolicking with the locals. I don't think Blueberry's like that. I don't think so. But, yeah, I was kind of scared. I didn't know what to do. And then I thought, wait a minute. The Pelagornis has a special ability. It can float in the water. Why not bring this guy down to the water, and we'll dance with him down there? And let me tell you, that was the brightest idea I've had this entire playthrough, because literally you could just spin circles in the Alpha Raptor, and for some reason, they literally go to the water and they become dumb. They just lose brain cells. It's like there's a switch, and they go from super killing death machine to a toaster. They just spin in circles, they'll try and bite at you, and then they will just spin in a circle. It's like they are terrified of the water, like a little baby who doesn't know how to swim. And yeah, they'll fight you if you get too close to the beach, but basically you just hit them a couple times, turn around, rinse and repeat. Slowly but surely, we took him out. I'd have to take some time to heal in between, because he did hit me here and there, and being level 80, he hurt. It did hurt, but we were able to accomplish this pretty successfully, and I was very, very happy. Now, I was a bit disappointed, as this guy was like 8 times as strong as the previous one we killed, and he literally just gave us a claw and some berries, and that was it. So that was Ark's way of giving us the big middle finger. Thanks, Ark. And then, when I finally got back to the base, you would think I would have been relieved, but something dawned on me. I had not fed our poop-flinging friend. Captain Crappy had not ate since I had tamed him, and I was worried he was going to die very quickly. So, I threw him on the ground and put some berries in his pocket, and then we set off to another adventure. Then, once I got farther inland, I did notice that there was a blue drop just hanging out in the middle of the water, and there wasn't too much in the water that I had to fear, as the Pelagornis literally just eats piranhas like little bite snack gummies. They one bite and they're all dead, so I wasn't too worried about that, and I had not seen a circle this entire playthrough, so everything was good. We picked it up and there was some pretty darn good loot. However, I could not do any more exploring because it was quite heavy, and the Pelagornis does not lift weights. They are definitely a cardio based workout person. All those levels went straight into stam and definitely not into weights, so we had to go back to the base. And then we hung out for a bit, and then honestly I went AFK. I totally forgot that I didn't pause it, and then when I came back to go set on an adventure again, another blue drop had spawned, so I went to go pick that one up, and lo and behold, there was more loot. So I went back to the base yet again. Now this time, I did not need to go looking for trouble, as soon as I had returned to base and put everything away, I had noticed there was actually some raptors that were fighting Brontos. That didn't make any sense. They must have whacked them somehow on accident, but needless to say, everything around the base was a complete chaotic mess, so I went out of my way to make sure to put it in line and killed me some raptors. And then once everything was dead, we were good to go back out on an adventure. It was at this point that I realized I could not continue to use Blueberry for absolutely everything, as we were fighting and constantly doing damage and having all these different counters far faster than what he could actually heal. And because he only ate the fish meat, regular meat didn't help, and everything we were doing was on land, so I set out to find someone else that I'd be able to go through and use to do some exploring. And I found a pack of raptors up top, but to be honest, they were all a bit derpy and all born super weak at level 10 and 12. So I did the world a favor and I destroyed the weak and showed them who was strong, and continued looking for someone new and continued looking for somebody a bit stronger who could join the team. And then it dawned on me. I thought, wait a minute, there was a level 50 Gigantoraptor earlier and I have all these eggs. Why don't we go see if we could tame that? It's not a perfect mount, but it is a mount who is fantastic at exploring, and worst case scenario, I just snatch up some babies. So I made my way down there to go try and find the Gigantoraptor, but I was ambushed by a couple of raptors, so I had to deal with those guys first, and then I went to go look for the Gigantoraptor. And lo and behold, Ark was at it again. The baby was dead. I'm guessing sometime between either one of those Alpha Raptor attacks in that area, the baby had been knocked out. How the mother survived, I could not tell you, because those Alpha Raptors really put me in my place before, of course, I buried them alive. So I don't quite know how she made it out alive, but she was there, angry, alone, and sad. I just let her live, guys. I know, not like me. I now came to the conclusion, with this being the island, that if I wanted to make any real progress, that I was going to have to take some risks, as there literally was no decent tames anywhere remotely close to my base. So I set out further into the island, looking to hopefully find something stronger or better near the green obelisk. And sure enough, I actually found a couple of creatures. There was a Baryonyx and some Raptors. Now, the Barry was super weak, and I really didn't want to mess with him because I had no way to go through and trap him or deal with him on the Pelagornis. And I didn't feel comfortable with my Pelagornis taking any hits from him while I tried to tame him with the crossbow, so that was not going to work out. And then I sat there on a rock trying to figure out what to do while the Baryonyx and the Raptors chit-chatted down below on how they wanted to eat me. And then out of nowhere, the Baryonyx jump scared the living heck out of me. I did not appreciate that. I then decided that the levels on the Raptors weren't worth all that trouble, and that I would just keep moving on and hopefully find a Raptor all by itself, or another creature with a decent level by itself, so it'd make things a little bit easier for me, as my Pelagornis was quite fragile, and still not fully healed up yet. And then there, as I was flying over the river, holy mackerel, this enormous size colanth, a 3.1 times size fish, just popped out of the water. Scared me because I thought it was some sort of weird mutated Sarco. I did not like that. And then, finally, our luck and patience had paid off. There was a 100+ raptor who was fighting a tortoise. So I figured I'd go through and help him kill the turtle, and then I'd go through and knock him out. And then I realized that I really didn't need to help him too much with the turtle, as he was more than capable, and plus I wanted him to do all the work and me to get the credit. I figured I might as well teach him what the rest of his life is going to be like, where I'm going to have him do all the dirty work and I'm going to take the credit and reap the rewards. So I let him kill the turtle, and then I proceeded to knock him out, and then I went on a hunt to go find some prime meat so I could feed this guy and make him my own. And I figured, what better way to assert my dominance than by feeding him prime meat that screams. That's right, I went and found another one of his kind, a low-level baby raptor, and I slaughtered it. And I brought him back that meat and fed it to him. Probably wasn't his child, maybe a cousin, I don't know, but he tamed up. And he now listened to me. And I figured he was going to need a name, but being out in the wilderness and not knowing what dangers lurked around the corners, I decided we would do that when we got home. And before we left, my goodness, look at this sky. I had to take all that in before we said goodbye, because that was breathtaking. Now, I was a little concerned with how we were actually going to get this raptor home, as we had flown quite a ways out here, and typically trying to transport dinos through land can be a bit of a hassle, as their AI is not very intelligent. But, this guy was different. He was smart. He moved around every obstacle, was very agile, very fast, and not once, not a single time, ever got stopped. This literally, for me, was going in the record books. This was the smartest raptor alive, outside of the ones who sneakily kill me without me knowing they're coming. Those guys suck, but they're also smart. Anyways, we made it back home, and no problems whatsoever. And then I proceeded to name our fella, and I decided Talon was an appropriate name, so we named him Talon. Now, after we finished naming Talon, I went through and I showed him these sights and the majestic views that this beautiful place had to offer. And I'm pretty sure he was happy and satisfied with his new life, as I was going to let him eat anything and everything that squawked. That's right, every dodo was going to fear Talon. I figured at this point in time, since it was still late and dark, it was probably safer and better to go out on a flyer than to take Talon out. So I went out one more time on Blueberry, hoping to find some other decent levels, but unfortunately, I spent the entire night looking, and I found a whole lot of nothing. The only thing that I found was that my hunger bar continued to go down, and my patience level did so as well. As I was making my way back in, though, there was a third blue drop that had spawned in, so I picked that up, but unfortunately it was kind of doo-doo. There was nothing too great in there, just a bow and a little berry seed, so I chucked that away. But I did find myself yet another egg on the beach, so that was pretty cool. I was essentially getting a stockpile at this point, and I could not wait till I got to put these guys to use. Now, once I did arrive home, I came to the conclusion that as much as I had enjoyed my stay here on this beach and the scenic views that it had to offer, that there was not too much left for me here. I was going to have to go through and find somewhere new to call home if I really wanted to make any progress, as metal resources and crystal resources were quite far away, and I really was not going to be able to haul that many with this Pelagornis, as its stam drops quite quickly, and there was just no way he was going to be able to carry any amount that would actually matter. So I decided we were going to start ourselves a journey. Now, I did consider leaving some of our friends behind, as it was going to be quite chaotic, but I decided we would take everybody. Yes, even Pete. Pete did come along. So I went through and I loaded up Finny and Pete and Talon on the raft, and then I had Blueberry follow swiftly behind us in the event that something did transpire. For example, if we got hit by a whale, then we could at least hop off and have a nice escape route. We would lose absolutely everything, but we wouldn't die, and we haven't died so far, so the goal was to try and keep it that way. I'm sure it will happen in the most unexpected way, and it will be very, very unfortunate, but for the time being, I was trying to keep this deathless streak going. Now, the goal on the raft was to sail all the way north. There is a peninsula in the north that actually is quite close to the snow biome, has a lot of resources very close by because it's directly behind the Beaver Lake as well, and it's just a fantastic spot with not too many threats. And on top of that, there are 3 very high-end loot drops that actually drop all in the same radius of the base area, and it's just a short swim away from Carno Island. So this was going to be the prime place to go through and ensure we were focused on getting high-level tames and all the resources we could need. Now, the only thing I was really scared about on this journey was the whale in the deep ocean, the lead sixes, and passing the swamp. Every time I come past a swamp on a raft, literally every single time, something goes wrong. So here is to me thinking we were going to go through and plan this out this time, and we were not going to have that happen. So I pulled up to the edge of the swamp, and I actually hopped off my raft, hopped up on Blueberry, and figured I would scout ahead to make sure I can look for any potential problems like a Capra or a Sarco. And strangely enough, there was a whole lot of nothing, which did not put my mind at ease or make me feel any better, but cross the region we did nonetheless. Everything was going significantly well until it wasn't. Then literally out of nowhere, I get jump scared and it says I've been grabbed by a creature, but in reality I wasn't grabbed. Talon was grabbed and he was launched over into the water. And then apparently in the water, it was full and loaded with piranhas, so they were just chomping at Talon. And I couldn't whistle all because the rest of my creatures would all go through and just panic and freak out and end up in the water. So I had to go through and strategically try to whistle just to him to come towards me. Now the problem was the raft was still in the water and there was more and more stuff coming. And then I had to go through and pull the raft over to the side, and we got attacked by a snake. And I don't know how, but the snake went for my creature and not for me, because if it went for me, I totally would have been dead, and this whole mission would have been failed. And then there was another snake, and they continued to go through an attack over and over and over, and that's when it happened. We lost Talon, the insanely intelligent raptor, who's done nothing but good things for us, had died. Even before we got to ride him, even just once. My poor, poor Talon. He was going to be my new best friend. But we had to continue onward, so I got everybody else back on the boat and decided to continue the journey. Oh, actually, I went back in the water and realized that I was cheap and did not want to make another saddle, so I took his saddle, cut up his corpse, put it up on the side of the beach, but I was too terrified to stop and make him a grave because I was pretty sure something was right around the corner bound to kill me. And then we proceeded along with our journey. Now, we had managed to get all the way up north here, and there was one last piece of water that I was worried about, basically the crossing between the ocean and this river inlet, as the water was a little deep here and there was still a possibility of getting attacked by the Elite Sixes. But fortunately for us, I was able to make it across, and let me tell you, it was a terrifying journey. Every moment I cross the deep ocean on the raft, I am just waiting and thinking that I'm going to get attacked. So I try to have a bird's eye view to see the attack coming. Not that I could do anything about it, as the raft will probably still get destroyed and my creatures, and I'll probably end up dead due to some shark or something else in the water that wants to eat me. But I at least like to know what's coming so I don't get jump scared prior, because getting jump scared sucks. So I tend to switch to the bird's eye view, and it just gives me a little, just small sense of relief. And finally, we had made it to the promised land. And just as about to hop off, I realized I didn't want to be on the side, because sometimes there could be some raptors over here, so I went to the back side where there shouldn't have been anything, but we immediately got attacked by a pack of dillos. The locals here did not appreciate us coming in to take over the space. So I killed them and then hopped back on the raft and then proceeded to go around one more time and realized this is actually where I had done a base tutorial when I first started YouTube. A quick little short tutorial with a building that was like a 2x3. So I plan on making a pretty large size base here, and this is going to be where we hang out for quite a while, as everything that we would need for the next part of our playthrough was all going to be in this location. And this is where we'll conclude our journey today. Alright guys, well I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, then please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you're not already.